self-serving because they said that they were responsible for that portion of the sidewalk, and that portion of the sidewalk was their private property. We knew that that wasn't the case, and we had asked for the MPD to come out and help explain what the rules were to them. It took a little while, but the MPD did come out and explain the rules. In the meantime, the building manager had asked the security guard actually to post up at our truck and turn people away. Of course, we didn't like that, but in the spirit of cooperation, we really just wanted the MPD to come out and help explain the rules. They did that, they explained it, and all was well after that. I think by and large, where people address us with questions or ask us to leave because we don't have a public use space permit for that space, it's really a case of misunderstanding. So I think really education helps, and we try to help people out. I don't think anyone's doing anything out of malintent by any means, at least not in our experience, but that's what we've encountered. That was the worst one we encountered.
I think the most unfortunate incident that we had was when we were on Capitol Hill, and there was a resident. It's kind of a mixed area between the government buildings and residential, and there was a resident that was really unhappy that we were there, and so we turned off our radio to try and limit our noise and made sure that we had somebody out there directing the crowd to allow for passage on the sidewalk. But the resident did end up calling the police on us 3 times, and also parking enforcement. Each time we actually knew all of the police that came, and they all knew that we were absolutely, doing everything by the book. So they allowed us to continue on with business for the day. It came to a certain point though when we realized that we were just kind of being a negative impact out there. And we really, everywhere we go, we really try to be a positive impact. So once we made that kind of distinction, we just went ahead and packed it up for the day and left. I think the most unfortunate part was that the resident was really using some, foul language, and a lot of the guests in line just had a bad experience that day, unfortunately. So, for us, that was the worst because, like I said, we really try and put a positive impact out there in the community. And for something like that to happen that was a little bit out of our control, we just thought was really unfortunate. But I think we met it with a positive resolution in the end. It all ended up with a handshake with the police and parking enforcement. And they said, we'll see you tomorrow, and that was about it. But that's about the nature of it. We get the police called on us almost once a day. We know all the officers that usually respond. And they're always happy to see us out there because they know we're always, leaving the area cleaner than we found it. People are always happy when they come to the truck, except for the one guy. And, they know, like I said, we're doing everything by the book, so.
I would say the worst encounter I've had was with a cop, and I unfortunately sold a coffee to a customer just a few minutes before my line formed. And I informed the police officer that my line was forming. It would form any minute, and he saw the people. But I sold a cup of coffee, and then there was maybe a 3-minute gap between that time and the time the line formed. And that violates the ice cream truck rule. So the police officer came into my truck and started writing me up a ticket, a $50 violation. He spent quite a bit of time in front of my truck yelling at me and embarrassing me in front of my customers, which I thought was totally unnecessary. He told me he was going to make me move, and he in fact made the truck in front of me move right before the lunch line formed. It was all very unnecessary. He was very abrupt, disrespectful. And I just think that they should have better things to do than pick on the cupcake person who sold a cup of coffee. And it was just awful, and it was a terrible experience for me. But the problem with it is that I was violating the ice cream truck rule, which is part of the regulation that DCRA is trying to get passed right now. They want us to actually pass the regulations with the ice cream truck rule in it, knowing full well that we're going to be in violation of that. It doesn't make any sense to me. Why would a regulatory body encourage the regulated community to violate a regulation that they're going to pass? I mean, that just, it's illogical. We aren't ice cream trucks. We don't look, smell, or taste like ice cream trucks. It's an antiquated law on the books, and it needs to be revised so that people like me can operate. I mean, my customers want access to my food all day. I might get a customer in the morning who comes by for a muffin and a cup of coffee. That same customer might come by for lunch for a cupcake and a lemonade, and then on the way home to the metro for a box of cupcakes to take home to their family. I can't wave, people aren't waving me down. These are professional people in this environment. They're not going to stand on the corner and wave me down. And I can't maintain a line for, expect people to line up at any one particular time of the day and maintain that line, because I don't serve a meal. I serve snack foods, and I'm sure there are other trucks that want to come out here that serve snack foods, and we're all in jeopardy of being harassed. So I'm really frustrated with DCRA, with the regulations, and with the police. And I know that DCRA permitted me knowing full well how I was going to operate, and now they're not allowing me to operate smoothly.